My brother-in-law saw me bathing and was embarrassed. Young girls heard this story. My husband had two younger brothers. Since there was no woman in the house, it was very difficult for them to eat and drink. That is why Hamza wanted to get married quickly. Because both his brothers were also young but unmarried. When this relationship came up for me, all our relatives told us that these boys did not have parents, so they would not be of good character. And people scared us a lot. But when my parents met him, they liked Hamza very much and said that Hamza was a very good boy, and people everywhere he worked also praised him. Thus, after being satisfied from all sides, I married him. When I went to my in-laws, I saw that both my brothers-in-law did not do any special work, but there was a lot of money in the house and there was no shortage of anything in the house. But I was surprised to see this because both my brothers-in-law used to eat and drink a lot and they did not lack for anything. My husband was also a very good and simple man. He would go to the office in the morning and come home straight after returning from the office. Whereas both my brothers-in-law were not straightforward and innocent. The actions of both of them were very strange. Both of them did not do any work. They would stay out of the house all day and would come home only at night. Not only this, but a very strange sound would come from their room at night. In the initial days, after hearing all this, I kept quiet so that my brothers-in-law would not think that I was spying on them both. But the truth was that both of them seemed suspicious to me from the beginning. The actions of both of them were scaring me because they both kept their rooms locked. In fact, often when I wanted to go to the room in their presence, they would stop me, and when I asked, they would say, "Hey brother-in-law, you don't need to clean our room, you just take care of our brother." Hearing this, I was embarrassed. I was newly married, so I didn't argue with them. But I started to suspect them that they must have been hiding something in their rooms and wanted me not to see it. So I used to do whatever they asked me to do, but gradually I started to feel that they were both hiding something from us, but they didn't let us know about it. In the early days of our marriage, when our eyes would open due to the sound of a commotion, they would come into our room before we left and start talking to us, thus diverting our attention elsewhere. Well, my husband would be engrossed in his conversations, but I started to suspect that they must have been hiding something from us. Hearing the sounds coming from their rooms, it seemed that we were both doing something wrong. But my brothers-in-law tried very hard to hide all this. Because whenever there was noise coming from their room, one of them would come into our room and start talking to us in a loud voice. But I was not a child who would ignore all this. It was clear that my brothers-in-law were doing something in their rooms that they wanted to keep hidden from all of us. But what? I knew the answer to this. Then one day I talked to my husband about this and he also expressed his ignorance. My husband said, "After my father and mother died, I focused all my attention on my studies so that I could become something, and when I got a job, I became very busy and I used to stay out of the house all day and would sleep as soon as I came home. I don't know what these two are doing." Hearing this from my husband made me think. Since till now my husband used to stay out of the house all day. That is why he could not find out about these suspicious activities of my brothers, but since I used to stay at home all day, I came to know about them. Both because they both would not let me go to their rooms, and often at night there would be a lot of noise coming from their rooms. Rather, it seemed to me as if there was some girl with them. Because I often heard the voice of some woman from their rooms. That is why I was afraid that my brothers-in-law might be doing something wrong, because both of them did not do any kind of work, yet they did not lack money. Rather, they would give me money for household expenses. But I did not need money because my husband is a good businessman. Rather, I wanted these two to tell about their work and not hide anything from us because after seeing their suspicious actions, I was afraid that these two might get into some trouble. I thought that if they got into some trouble, we would not be able to escape because we also lived in the same house. Thinking about this, I lost sleep at night and I said to my husband, I am very scared after seeing the actions of your brothers, so I do not want to live here. Hearing this, my husband said, but these are my brothers. I cannot leave them. Anyway, this is my house too. How can I leave it and go away? Hearing this, I told him, okay, this is your house, but it is also clear that the actions of your brothers are becoming suspicious day by day. Maybe you will get caught because of their wrongdoings. Hearing this, Mir Ash-Shohar got into a thought. Then after a few days, my husband told me that I like what you are saying and anyway, my brothers do not listen to me, so there is no point in staying with them. And then my husband thought of leaving this house and going to another city. My husband started looking for a job there and when he got a good job, he told his two brothers. Hearing this, my brothers-in-law were surprised and started preventing us from leaving this house. One of my brothers-in-law said, "Brother-in-law, we are not doing anything wrong, so please do not leave this house." Hearing this, I told my brother-in-law, "You two are not doing anything wrong. If you do, why do you keep your rooms locked?" After hearing me, Mir Adavar said, "There is nothing like that there, but since our friends keep coming, we will not let you enter the room." Hearing this, I made a face. It was clear that they were fooling me, but I was not so foolish that I would have believed their words. Therefore, I came to another city with my husband. And we started living in a rented house here. As soon as I came here, my husband got a good job. In the beginning, both of Mir's brothers kept calling us, but I did not even speak to them directly. I was sure that both of them would soon get married in some way or the other. Therefore, I brought my husband away from all of them so that my husband's name would not come up in all of them. Anyway, my husband was not at fault. So why should this helpless person be punished? But after coming here, my husband felt that his brothers were helpless and innocent and they did not do such a thing. But I told him that we will see this matter one day or the other. But then many years passed and we did not get any good news from both of them and I also felt relieved that surely both of them would have improved with time. And then it happened as I had thought. One day there was a knock on the door. It was evening time. My husband was also at home. When he opened the door, he was scared because the police were standing in front. My husband looked at me and was shocked. My husband asked the police, "What is the matter? Why have you people come to our door at this time?" Hearing this, they said, "We have come to arrest both of you." Hearing this, I was surprised and worried that what have we done that they have come to arrest us. But they did not listen to us at all and caught us and took us to the police station. Then the visit to the police station took place. The next morning, we came to know that we had been arrested because the police suspected both of my brothers-in-law of supplying drugs. Hearing this, I started shouting, "We are not to blame for this. Why have we been caught?" Hearing this, a police officer said that your husband is the brother of both of them and it is possible that you both are also with them. Hearing this, I started crying and I told my husband that I had already told you that your brother's actions are not right and we can get away with it. Hearing this, my husband asked me to be quiet, but the police officer heard me and said, Tell me everything you know about those days. If those two are caught, we will let you both go." Hearing this, I said to my husband, "Please Hamza, tell them everything. Why should we go to jail because of these two?" Hearing this, my husband said that I don't care about these two. But I can take you all to my house. Hearing this, the police put both of us in their car and brought us both home. We showed the police our belongings. They searched our room but they found nothing. Then they wanted to search the rooms of both my sisters-in-law but they were locked. So the police broke the doors of these rooms and we all went inside. Our eyes widened as we saw the sight in front of us because there were bags of new clothes lying everywhere. I was watching all this with surprise. I was already suspicious of both of them. At that moment, I said to my husband, "Now you see that I used to call you a child." I looked at him sarcastically and said, and he said, "I did not know that these two used to do such things by hiding inside." The police were searching everything in their room. When a pistol came out from under my sister-in-law's bed, we both were shocked. It seemed like a very long affair. It seemed that we were also going to be caught with these two. Then after some time the police searched their room and an officer said to my husband that there are many cases against your two brothers. Both of them had been using hashish for many years and their target was innocent children and helpless women. They were running their business by giving money to these people. Till now they were hidden from our eyes but now many cases have been registered against them and we have come here and got all the evidence against these two. Therefore it is better that you tell us the address of these two so that we can arrest them." Hearing this my husband got worried and he looked at me. I said to the officer, "Sir, believe us because we did not know where these two were at that time." Hearing this the officer said, "How is it possible that you both do not know anything about them? Surely you both are hiding something from us. That's why I'm telling you that if we don't find them, we'll put you both in jail." Hearing this, my husband got worried and said, "I don't know anything about my brothers, but I can call them here to save my life, but you have to promise me. We have to do it. If they don't come here, you and I will leave the husband and wife." Hearing this, the police promised my husband and he called his two brothers and said that your brother-in-law and I have also come to meet you, so come home quickly. After saying this, my husband disconnected the call and the police car left from there, while one police officer was left with us. I was sure that they would definitely come to meet us, but there was also a fear that if they didn't come, the police would put both of us in jail and we innocent people would have to pay the penalty for what we did. So I started praying that they would come here and our lives would be spared. Then Allah heard our prayers because it was not night. My two brothers-in-law came home and as soon as they came, the police arrested them and thus we were spared. It is true that the consequences of bad deeds are inevitable and one day or another, it is punished.